This is one of the dumbest things ever, but I haven't played my guitar much lately. There's really no point in playing the guitar unless you're playing for a woman. Almost no point. There are points, but basically, every guitar song is about a woman. And every man, like if a man makes his living off of playing the guitar, almost all of them have a sordid history with women, right? But then also, like, little kids playing cute songs. It's kind of like the same thing as old people playing cute songs. It's cute when a little kid plays a cute song, but it's also cute when a non professional older person plays a cute song. How do we know? Well, we can see the likes. So, I'm not saying you're gonna like this, but I like it. I've just been thinking a lot about Lindy Lee. Like, I'm out of the game. So, back when I was younger, when I sang a song about a woman, it was because it was just a song. Like, I actually just totally loved this woman. And then throughout my life, over and over again, we turn our backs on each other. You know, from like 10 years old to 40 years old. It's just the history of like infatuation on both parties and turning backs on both parties. Mostly, or, on average. Not to say there weren't exceptions. So now that I'm out of the game, I have innocent crushes. And when I say innocent, I'm still the same dirty dog I was before. The thought crosses my mind. In fact, the thought crosses over and over again. I don't think you can turn it off. Or what would it take to turn it off? Like, what would it take to turn my perversion off? Like, I'm out of the game. I've been celibate for 10 years. I was I wasn't a Will Chamberlain, but in my own way I was a whore master, so to speak, to some people. But that's only because most of the people I know were bigger whore masters than me. Or I shouldn't say that's the only reason, but that's part of the reason, right? How did I learn to be the monster that I was? I'm still a monster, but this dragon hasn't eaten, you know, this dragon hasn't eaten fresh fish for 10 years. Fine. Could happen tomorrow or the next day. I don't suspect it. Why? Because now I'm ugly and I'm also tainted. I didn't mind being ugly my whole life. That never stopped me. But once I had an indication that I was tainted, and I'm not 100% sure that I'm tainted, but I'm high 90s% sure that I'm tainted, and I've been tainted for a while. And once I suspected I was tainted, that's it. It's over. Yet, how many people in this world today, STDs, man, VDs, how many, like a third of America has sexually transmitted disease, and nobody talks about it. And some of that shit is a cause of cancer, you know? So you got all these motherfuckers with STDs, right? But you can live a long time with an STD if you have a cushy life, you know? So all these people who are taking vitamins and supplements and shopping at the co-op and working in the banks as an executive or working in the college as an administrator or a dean or a whatever, you know, they ride their bikes in the summer and they ski downhill and cross country in the winter. They play basketball in the spring and fall, you know, play soccer and football. Who the fuck are these people, right? I'm getting way off the topic, but anyway, what I'm saying is I'm out of the game, but I'm it's it's actually better. Like if you're fickle, like if you in your life were a garish rake, if you played the game, if you were on the scene, if you were in the club, or if you're at a pig roast with a keg of beer, I'm sorry. It's so much easier than being at the club. If you're at a pig roast or a goat roast with a keg of beer, plus the cases of beer, plus the coolers, plus the, flasks and fucking liters and all this, like, get out of here, man. Why you go to the club? Why do you go to the goat roast? Though, probably more people at the goat roasts and the pig roasts are married, on average. But still, it rises the spirits. Which spirits? Right? Drinking spirits to rise the spirits. Which spirits? It depends where you are and what you're doing. Anyway, all that to say this, like, I like being out of the game. Like, when I was younger, I used to chase tail. I'm not proud of it. I was taught to chase tail, and not just by the boys. The love of my life, who I will not name, did not chase me. We were friends. I failed her. Now she has met the true, like, I was the false love of her life, and now she is with the true love of her life. So that's good. From what I can see from way, way back, the last thing I saw was, 10 years ago, but good. Good for being good. Like, that's good. That's what I wanted for you. I couldn't do it. But I just can't help it. She was the love of my life, And that just speaks to her and how good she must be to her husband, who must be a good man, and to her children, who must be good children. And it's my job to stand away and to learn that lesson. I know exactly when and where I failed. It's a difficult problem, it's a difficult equation, but I have to find a way to express my failure so that you don't make it. It's not our job to put you through what we went through. It's our job to make you tougher than we were, but also, like, I lived my life like you do, with yeses and nos. We say yes, we say no. We say yes, we say no. It really is, in some sense, this binary. Except there's also patience. We can sit on the thing for a while. It doesn't have to be yes or no. Not every question has to be answered right now. We answer the questions that we need to answer right now. We answer right now, and the answers that we don't need to answer right now, we don't always answer right now. Now, some answers that we don't need to answer right now, we can still answer right now because they're so out of the scope of things. But then again, but there's a question. There's an answer, yes or no. It's one way I look at it. It's a certain granularity. There's a certain granularity about it. Anyway, all I wanted to say is that I like it now where I don't chase anybody. I don't try to have sex with anybody. I don't try to get a girlfriend. I don't try to get a wife. I'm never going to have a wife. I'm never going to have a girlfriend again. I'm never going to have a one-night hookup again. All the things I wanted in that respect, romantically, they're all gone. So what's left? Right? Because I failed, to be honest. It's not like I gave it up freely. In a sense I did, because people who are in my position still keep going. And I've just said, okay, enough is enough, right? But what that does is that means I can write a love song. You know, it's kind of like Willie Nelson wrote that song. For all the girls I've loved before, traveling in and out the door. You know, like, I can relate to that. Not like he can. Not like Will Chamberlain can, but I can relate to it, you know? In a very contracted way. But still, it's a lens. If you sleep with 15 women, or if you sleep with 1,500 women, or if you sleep with 15,000 women, I'm not so sure that the guilt is that different, because it's damning. In a sense, if you're with less than 30,000 women, if you're with 30,000 women, you don't remember any of the faces. But if you're with 30 women, you might remember every face. If you're with 30,000 women, it becomes a little more abstract. It's a different problem. If you're at 30 women, you might remember every face. If you're at 300, some of those faces start slipping away. Solomon had a concubine of 300, and he had 700 wives. And he's the man who built the temple? Got to chew on that for a while. It'll lead you back to Isaac and Ishmael. I'll leave it at that. All I wanted to do today was sing a song about Lindy Lee. Because she's the crush of the day. I pretty much love Mary, but I love looking at statues of Mary and paintings of Mary, but I know I don't know what Mary looks like. Like, I love Mary in The Chosen. Like Mary in The Chosen, I love her. But I also love Mary at the Immaculata. And I also love Mary in Rome. You know, every Mary I see. I love the Vietnamese Marys. I love the Black Marys. Love them. The Ethiopian Marys. The Egyptian Miriams. Love them. Miriatans. Love them. Right. So one of the cool things about being celibate, like technically I'm celibate, but it's more like I'm damaged goods, so I've realized I've lost in that arena, but I still might have time left to be a Joseph. I still might have time left to be a Joseph. I'm a failed, like there's an army of unmarried, middle age, and elder, or not even elderly, like senior. There's this plethora of untapped resources of middle age and senior men who failed at everything they ever dreamt of, who have tapped out because they failed and they get it. There's an army of us and we can help. But people are too embarrassed. That's the thing, man. Everybody comes out like, I was raped, I was a drug addict, I was sexually abused. But no one comes out and says, because of my inappropriate hedonism, I have a freckle on my schmeckle. And that's 1 out of 3 people in America. And we're all too embarrassed. Now, if we fucked 1,000 women, we all like, whoop, 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 whoop. But if you fuck 2 women and you get herpes, you ain't doing no whoop, whoop. That really, I feel like that was the climax of the story, but the whole purpose of this is like I press record telling myself, don't say anything, just play the song. And now I can't remember the song. I'm trying to make a ditty for Lindy Lee, because she's my crush of the day. She's probably the crush of my day like once a week these days, but it comes and goes because I have a fickle pickle. But I like making love songs for women. Wow. That's the thing, man. I'm a hoe. I'm a pervert. I want to fuck everybody who's a chick. I mean, in the perversion of my imagination, you know? But I also recognize now, and also having had coital relations with the women folks, that's not always actually the healthiest thing in the world. If you're not in really great shape, having lots of the sex, not so good for you. It'll kill you before it heals you. You can't fill that bottomless hole, motherfucker. But even though I regret the way I came to celibacy, I'm glad for the gift that now that I'm no longer chasing tail, I'm allowed to love every woman. I'm allowed to be in love with every woman. I love that. Because now I'm in love with every woman I see. I'm aroused, I'm intrigued. And because I'm in love with every woman I see, it's like I'll look at one woman and she makes me aroused, and I'm like, wait, I'm in love with this woman, but there was this ugly bitch I was talking to earlier, and I love her. There's something about her I love. There's this thing she said. There's this way she moved. Like, that made me in love. For instance, one of the women I love is this rapper named Envy. And if you watch all of her videos, like every single one, well, actually, there's two videos I think are kind of the same, Tongue Twister and Friday Night. But besides, well, and they're different, but, and the songs are totally different, but like the style, but like every one of her videos is like totally different. So good. Envy. I think she's considered a grime rapper from the UK. She is amazing. Like Friday Night, banger. Tongue Twister, banger. Set Yourself on Fire, banger. So good. And then that one she did, that animated one that she did with this other dude from the UK. What was that one? I remember it was like this. It almost reminded me of a Monty Python animation. I think it had Queen Victoria as one of the images in the animation. Flush. Yeah. Envy. Flush. Nadine. So good. That girl, man. The fact that she didn't win a Grammy and Set Yourself on Fire. I mean, it's just so good. But yeah, I love falling in love with women. And when I was younger, before I'd ever been with a woman, I thought the best thing you could do for being, like, I thought the best thing you could do for the women you love is to fuck them. I was taught that by men and women. Dude, I was so seduced. I was so seduced by women. Like, yeah, like if you go to college, man, like men are seducing women and women are seducing men. And it's all optics because almost nobody that age actually runs their own life. People who are that age who run their own life, they succeed. And the rest is just like shooting craps. Like, but I can't blame the culture for it, but I can recognize it. I can testify to it, right? Lindy Lee. Lindy Lee. She got no friends, but now she got me, got me. Lindy Lee. Oh wait, Lindy Lee. Lindy Lee. She got no friends, but now she got me, me. Miss Liberty. Lindy Lee. Lindy Lee. She got no friends. Now she got me. Lindy Lee. Lindy Lee. She got no friends. Miss Liberty. Writing a song is like a ditty. It's like the bug in the mind, the meme. Like, actually, here's a good conspiracy for you. I'll leave you with this. Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. Now, this song is... It would be interesting to know how widespread this song is, but like everybody I grew up with knew this song. It was on it was all around, you know. But it would be actually interesting to see the diversity of this. And it's such a cool story. The history, like it's a conspiracy. Mary Had a Little Lamb is a conspiracy. There's a fight between two towns. One of them is south from me, quite a ways. And one of them is north from me, quite a ways. Or, you know, northeast, west, whatever. But if you drew like a, I don't know how far they are away from me, but like if you drew 100-mile, if you drew a circle from where I live with a radius of 100 miles, like more or less those two places, there's a controversy between which town created that song. It's remarkable. Like, what's that story? Mary Had a Little Lamb. It's a conspiracy. It's a controversy. It's unresolved history. And it's Mary Had a Little Lamb? It's a controversy. Everybody knows the song. It doesn't have to do with Jesus. It has to do with Massachusetts and Vermont and New Hampshire and Maine. I mean, you can't untwirl that quadra-state. Never mind New England as a whole, but there is something special about, because people talk about tri-state, and sometimes when people say tri-state, they mean New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, and sometimes when people say tri-state, they mean New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. But the quadra-state, which is more or less the original Massachusetts, it's special. It's special. But there's this controversy. Connecticut, Rhode Island, whatever. Eastern New York. But of where that song came from. But it definitely came from somewhere around there. And it stuck. So some little girl would go to school every day, and her little lamb would follow her. and her name was Mary, and she had a little lamb. And everybody in the town found it so endearing that they wrote a fucking song. Someone in the town, of course, all the people in the town will talk about it like, that little Mary, oh, that little lamb, because it's out of the ordinary. Mostly you kill lambs and you eat them. You serve them up in brisket, you chop them up into pieces, you shave them, you scrub them out, you say, get the fuck out of here, I got other shit to do. Not little Mary. Mary loved that lamb instead of a doll. Mary didn't have a doll. Mary loved her little doll. Little doll. Little doll. Mary loved her little doll. Its fleece was white as snow. Mary didn't have a fucking doll. Mary had a living, breathing, blood-filled lamb. How dare she? I know another Mary who had a lamb. Holla. Just saying. But it's so ingrained in one of the most important, like, over the last 4,000 years, it's very, very, very arguable that New England, it's, over the last 4,000 years, New England, it's one of the top 10 places of the earth. And from there came this song. Mary had a little lamb. Little lamb, Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. Okay. Snowy up here. Yeah, fresh snow, nothing whiter. Nothing whiter than fresh snow. Nothing. Everywhere that Mary went, Mary went, Mary went. Everywhere that Mary went, her lamb was sure to go. It's an indelible song. We don't know who wrote it. We're not sure where it came from, but we have a general idea. It's indelible, and it speaks to the wisdom of the ages. And of course, Mary comes from Miriam. And to my mind, Miriam comes from Miriamin, beloved of the Amen, and Meritaten, beloved of the Aten. Meritamen, Mariamen, Meritamen, Mariamen, Meritaten, Mariaten, Marianne, Mariaten, Marianne. Like in my family, man, Mary Beth, Mary Elizabeth, Marion, Madeline, Maid, which actually, yeah, Madeline goes back to Magdalene, which is another Mary. So Mary Beth, Mary Sue, Mary Elizabeth, Marion, Madeline, which relates to Magdalene, which is another Mary. Martha. Like, these are the matriarchs of my family, right? And to my mind, it all goes back to the 18th dynasty of Egypt. Through Exodus, up through beautiful Mother Mary. And it's interesting that through the history is just like this incrustation, right, of a moment. And it's interesting that a moment encrusted America as being America and having the MERI in the middle of it. Beloved of the 18th dynasty. You can't make this shit up. But yeah, the moral of the story actually is everywhere. Well, the moral of the story is two things. All y'all whole ass motherfuckers, 1 out of 3 of us, if you walk past 3 people, one of them has a freckle on their schmeckle. If you walk past 6 people, 2 of them have a freckle on their schmeckle. If you walk past 9 people, 3 of them have a freckle on their schmeckle. That's America. And nobody's saying anything about it because everybody's too embarrassed. And the good people who don't have it, see, that's the thing. That's the other thing. 1 out of 3 people don't have a freckle on their schmeckle because they were good people. 1 out of 3 people don't have a freckle on their schmeckle because they're lucky. And 1 out of 3 people have a freckle on their schmeckle because they did bad things. I'm actually not sure. I haven't gone to the doctor. I tried to go to the doctor to figure it out, and I just got a lecture. I filled out some paperwork that was feckless. Nothing ever happened. So I'm not really sure, but like, because a lot of shit's happened. I'm older now, so I have like 17 ailments. 7 years ago, I had so many ailments. I thought I was gonna die. I was practically suicidal because it's like, oh my god, I'm dying, and it's like, well, I've been dying for the last 10 years. Everything's gotten worse, but you know, say I had 17 then. Now I have 30, but they're different ones. Some of the ones I had before have went away. I've gotten new ones. Some of the ones I had before have gotten worse, but some of the ones I had before have gotten better. Getting old means you get ailments. I'll have more to say about that concerning the placebo effect later. But yeah, however that song came to be, it's magic, man. It's a miracle. Simple, easy, and true. And it was just born out of a story that happened somewhere close to here. It might have even happened in 2 places. Wouldn't that be something? 2 places, 1 story. Because people who talk about the conspiracy talking about 2 places, 1 story. It had to be one or the other. Well, what if the same thing happened at the same time in 2 places? That's the world we live in today. Sorry for being like that about it. I'm being all like, that's what I know. That's how it is. I don't know. I'm pouring it on thick. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. But I just want you to remember that. Why do I want you to remember that? 2/3 of the earth is covered with the Abrahamic tradition, roughly. 2/3 of the earth is covered with the Abrahamic tradition. And what people don't realize is that the Abrahamic tradition is the Marian tradition. For instance, Christ said we don't, I think it was something like, and I can't remember the different priests, but I'm pretty sure it was like, Christ was like, we don't belong to the priesthood of Aaron. I could have that name wrong. I mix up names in my mind. I clump certain people together, and sometimes I clump them together in the wrong way. Sometimes there's like this genealogy of the way I clump names together, but he was like, we don't believe in the priesthood of Aaron. We believe in the priest, or we're of the priesthood of Melchizedek, right? So, to my mind, the covenant, before we can get to the priesthood of Melchizedek in whole, we have to transfer the covenant from Abraham to Mary. And then it'll be like 4,000 years, and then we'll transfer, or 10,000 or 400, but I mean, it'll be a while. We have to transfer the covenantal bond to Mary. It's going to take hundreds or thousands of years, but that's the direction. And if that sounds preposterous, people still talking about Aquinas. Aquinas has been like usurped, surrounded, pretty much slayed, crucified. He's in heaven, fine. He did what he had to do for his day. It's sad to me that he's still so exalted, but I also recognize his current efficacy. Like if I take a God's eye view and I look around and I hear what people are saying, I say, okay, it'll do for a while longer. It's still better than some of the alternative. It's tough. It's not the way I want to be a Christian, but I understand its efficacy. But yeah, out of New England, that song was born. Mary had a little lamb. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. It was born organically. It spread everywhere. And it's an echo through time. In the same way in the Quran, when I think it was Muhammad, somewhere in the Quran, where he's talking about Mary, Mary, mother of God, Mary, mother of Jesus. He's talking about her, but then he refers back to like Aaron and Moses or whatever. So sometimes people say, oh, he was confusing Miriam of the New Testament with Miriam of the Old Testament. And maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but maybe he was just casting that down. Like, whoever the Mary was that the song Mary Had a Little Lamb was written about, whoever she was, we don't know who she is. I was about to say we'll never know who she is, but things have a way of turning up. When God wants them to, you know? And when we want them to. Yet sometimes things also turn up by accident when we had no idea what we wanted, and then we find ourselves on an adventure because we found something accidentally, because we tripped over it. But yeah, it's very encouraging that organically, out of New England, it's very encouraging that a song from a little girl whose little lamb followed her to school, where she learned to read and write and do arithmetic and be kind to little lambs. It's wonderful that that song was born from New England. It's so wonderful. And it's true. And we don't know who that Mary was. And we don't know who Mary, Mother of God. We don't know Mary, the vessel through which Christ was shown. We don't know who, what, how that is. But it changed the world. And it's real. Zoroaster, yeah, pretty good. Not Christ, not Mary. The proof's in the pudding. And that's the thing, like, some Christians, some Jews, they deny Islam the same way they deny Zoroaster. But you can't. God promised that Abraham's seed would populate the earth. The claim to Isaac is represented by the plethora of Judeo-Christian religions. And the claim to Ishmael is represented by the plethora. I'm not sure if the right word is Islamic or Muslim, but the Mohammedans, to use an archaic word. Depends what you mean by archaic. Sometimes when people say archaic, they mean 100 years ago. Sometimes when people say archaic, they mean 10,000 years ago. Right? But yeah, just to use an archaic word, not disrespectfully, but to recognize that I'm not that studied, but I'm interested. And it also, by using the word Mohammedan, it references several other works and an entire branch of knowledge. And it's kind of like you can't, if you see the word Mohammedan, you can't just write it off, because that word is out of fashion today. In the same way that when the little flower, Saint Therese, in the same way when the little flower in English, in the very first page, I think, she refers to savages. And to most of us in the quote-unquote liberal West, including Republicans, like, if you see the word savage, it's a trigger. But that doesn't allow us to put ourselves in the place she was. And there are savages. There are savages down the road from me. I know savages. And I know that this town is better than this town. I'm familiar with 50 towns. And I know, go here, don't go here, go here, don't go here. In this town, you can go here, but in this town, you can go everywhere, but not here, right? We all have these little maps. Who knows how accurate they are, but they keep us safe. Right? And on average, they're actually correct. Lindy Lee, Lindy Lee. She worked real hard for liberty. Lindy Lee, Lindy Lee. She got no friends now, but now she got me. So what?